Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from the trenches with Kaz, and you can't see my dial at the moment. If you're just coming to us right now, we're getting ready to stream on topics such as the Australian Army issues, plus life's questions and answers, life mentoring. This is the global channel. If this is your first time here, feel free to let everyone know who you are in comments, no matter where you come from in the world. And myself, Lauren, and everyone will make you feel welcome. Bianchi, how you going, mate? Mohammed, how you doing? The King. Yourself or myself? The Messiah? I'll take either. JC, the thin blue line. We've got Mike Ledger, keeping the ledger, so to speak. We've got Blom Gamer. Sorry, dude, my eyes are about as useful as Winnie the Pooh's, which means they're fake, just like CNN's news. Not quite a Brokeback Mountain, but Ethan Hill is here. We got Spartan Mouth. Not much is going to come nice out of that gob. If you know anything about Spartans. Stoic. We've got Lauren here. Say hello, Lauren.
Hello.
No, hello, Lauren. All in green, we've got Ryanopoulos underneath, like a sailor, Sean Goodrich. Yep, Ryan's going for the rich guy. He's got the police and the soldier and the Coca-Cola represent there. Spartan Mouth. G'day, JC. We've got some questions from all of you guys tonight we're going to be reading through. We put out the request, what do you want to know? And we're here. Nido Mosquito, what a horrible creature it is. Howdy, Kaz. Joel Hurdle. Let's talk real soon, Joel. Tonight we didn't have much time because I spoke for nearly 2 hours today to one of our latest individuals, friends, colleagues, comrades of Patreon through the bat phone. And we've got Ty Mason here. Great to have you here. Wait 2 seconds, got the family ringing. I'll only be a second. Hello, dear. Okay, done. Okay, say goodnight. What? It doesn't get quicker than that. Wait a second, team.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. Talk for a second, Lauren. I'm just going to quickly talk to Ali.
Well, I don't want to talk out loud.
You can.
They'll hear us.
That's okay. She'll know she's on. Over to Lauren.
I never know what to say.
Because I'm a girl.
I'm just not very good at this. Like,
It was a good night. Good night. Oh, okay. Wait a second. Lauren, keep talking.
okay.
They're out the front.
Hi, PK. Yeah, JC, how's the shoulder? Yeah, a lot better. That's good. I never know what to say. I can only apologise when Kaz tells me to talk because I just don't know. If you don't have questions, I don't know what to do. Like Ricky Bobby, I don't know what to do with my hair. See ya, Ethan. Off to get dinner. Wow, there's some promotions going on. Look at PK's stripes. I wonder who else is. Joe Hurdle will be getting promoted soon. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. I might even be quiet. Let me know if I'm too quiet. I can't tell until you tell me. It is. Well, we had a really rainy day, Roman. It was really miserable here. I'm hearing that we're in. Oh, thanks, JC. Hi, Dave. I hear we're in for a really wet summer, which will be good for bushfires, I imagine. Thanks, Spartan. I try my best. Sorry, Rob. So I'll just talk really loud. I can't hear the music. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Flubber. I'll get him to fix it when he comes back. What should I say? Cooking dinner. Good on you, Ben Fisher. What are you having?
I'm coming. Said Elton John.
Hey, that's a bit rough.
Wait 2 seconds. Ha! That was a 30-metre sprint shuttle run. What have we missed?
No, just me being really awkward. That was all you missed.
That's all right. G'day, guys and gals. Sorry about that. There's one thing I will say. No one ever comes before my little girl.
No, and that's how it should be.
And I need to make sure I stay true to that. Hey, Mr. P, how you going? Welcome, guys and girls. It's Kaz and Lauren from Tasmania, so she'll have twice as many opinions.
Yep.
And we're just here to let you know. G'day, Dave. To let you know, guys and gals, I'm your global channel. Global, but in Australian timings. Asian as well. Asian. But we're here for you, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from. This is where you get to come and speak the way you speak, without necessary moderation, unless you actually attack each other, and it's absolutely disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly.
You can attack me.
Yeah, I know. No, we don't attack him either, because us moderators take exception to that too.
But what I'm here to let you know tonight is I'm the only one that's here for your team.
Yeah.
Maybe Buckaroony, okay? Lauren as well. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe there's more than me.
They can't ring me. They can ring you if they join the Patreon.
They can. Yep.
So I'm not here for them as much as you are. Sorry, that sounds cold, but it's true.
USS Wasp. G'day, mate. How you going? Good to have you here. Represent in the Navy, Billy Ocean. That's his favourite kind of music. And I tell you what, Wasp, if you were over on a Navy boat right now, one of the scariest videos I've ever seen was watching actual large boats in the motion of sinking. It is a scary thing to watch how quick it goes, boom, like a Zyrtec. For those that remember that ad that used to annoy people more than the ShamWow. Maybe that's what they need on Navy ships. Would the Titanic have sunk if there had been a few ShamWows on board to soak up the moisture? Don't know. Looks like Kaz needs a Coke. I do need a Coke, but I'm not talking about Ben Cousins kind of Coke.
Yeah.
Rivers Phoenix kind of Coke.
Yeah, you don't need any of that.
I don't need it. Guys and gals, I was on the phone for nearly 2 hours today to Gerald. Sorry. It sounds like a very British name. Pompous in nature, but a lovely bloke. He's a banker. He wants to join the military. He's over 30 years old. He wants to go into intelligence. We had a fantastic conversation. Before we knew it, 2 hours was over on this phone. It's still hot from the conversation. And I could have spoken for 2 hours longer. Guys and gals, when you come here, you need to understand that I am the only one that does this for you consistently in your corner about this and never gets tired of the same questions. Machine gun style. Because I'm a weirdo. But also because I care.
There's a first-time commenter.
Hey!
Says, "G'day, Kaz. This is my first time commenting, new to the channel, and love your work. Looking at doing infantry and potentially commandos. Welcome, Chris."
Chris, I love the way you pitched that. Okay, you didn't come in there telling us that you're going to be SASR, that you're going to be commandos. You came in understanding that there is a route to follow, and it's not easy. And on that route, you need to go through basic steps, which may tell you you've come about as far as you're going to come. And remember, the military will always promote you or allow you to go to one step further than what you are suited at. So, fantastic and a mature response right there.
Yeah, it was.
The Chris Wicken, he believes in witches. G'day, Kaz. This is my first time. This was Chris Helmsworth. You know, you've heard of him before, but he had to change it up for the chat. Can we get a hand of colour up there for anyone that is new to the channel today? Because you should subscribe while you're here. Costs nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great community. It really is. And I'd just like to give a shout out to the meme page on Instagram that Fugly put together. And I think if everyone wanted to follow that, he's really good at making memes and they're actually really hilarious. And truly, you won't get them unless you're a part of the community. So if you want an extended community experience on Instagram, I'll get Fugly to put a link in there.
That sounds like a great thing to do, and we need that. And for those, give me some hands of colour, which are not yellow, because that is also a range of races. And if you want to see a discussion like I'm having with Lauren right now, with myself and Fugly, okay, because Fugly wants us to do a live stream where I actually, not debate, but have a conversation, a back and forth with someone on the topic of a trade? Why pick military over a trade, etc.? I can answer that really quickly right now, but people prefer a little bit of correspondence, don't they?
I'm not going to give you the same resistance that Fugly would because I'm not qualified to comment.
Let's warn you that Fugly admits that he's a narcissistic individual. You know,
and we love him.
Yeah, it means at least you get his version of the truth.
Yeah, he's pretty straight up character, and I like that about people.
Yep. JC, I don't have social media.
Fair enough.
Let's send some money to JC so he can afford social media. Talking about that, let's get it out of the way really quickly. I want to do a special thank you out there to Patreon right now. The people in Patreon, put a thumbs up down there if you're in Patreon. I know we're putting a lot of thumbs here, but you've done a great thing today, a really good thing. I went into JB Hi-Fi, Chris Richards, wired for sound. I was wired for sound. By the way, some of my Rwanda brothers are out there. If they're out there right now, they're not going to comment. They're not going to throw hands up. That's not what they do. They have a bit of a laugh and hope that I pick on someone for their personal attributes. But that's what soldiers do with dark humour, black humour. That's racist, Kaz. But we got something for the fattest person of our channel. Okay? That's a nasty thing to say. We got something for the person with the most marbling of our channel.
And do you know what else? You don't even know that.
Well,
that might not be a fact.
It might not be. That could be fake news.
Someone out there who needs to get a wall cut out or something.
Mucho respecto to them too, because everyone's welcome here. But we're not just going to tease someone, Lauren, who's also on Patreon. We're going to do something about it, and we did do something about it. What did we do, Kaz? For all of you people that are below the age of 30 that have a good-looking mother, you need to put her on right now to see me do something nice. Bam. This is the brand new Fitbit. It's called the Versa 3. It's just come out, water resistant down to 37 centimeters. Comes in black and other assorted colors. This is brand new. Bought it today, and that's going out to Simon Powell. So on Thursday at this stage, I'm looking at getting in the vehicle, driving out to Richmond where he is, and putting this on his wrist, and let's see what we can do to maybe even throw out some training for the big fella. If he's here right now, we're going to catch that on video. That'll be part of it. If I'm going to make him the best version of him of my time, then we'll catch that on camera.
Yep. And it's not like he's not already doing something to improve his own life. This is a journey he's already started.
That's true. And he's also come to me for that help and asked me for that help. So it's only fair.
Here he is. Simon, you did miss something.
Good evening all. Sorry I am late. Did I miss anything? We just accused you of being the biggest person on the channel. And boom. Whack. That's coming to you. I'm coming out to you this week if we can to have a cup of coffee. You'll be drinking skim milk with yours.
Check out the man cave.
Yep. Come and see you. And we're going to put that on your wrist. You know. Bam. Brand new. It came out this week. It's a brand new Versa 3. 37 centimetres water resistant. That's fantastic. Okay. Probably 10 metres at least. You can swim in it.
That's because we love you, Simon.
Assessment day tomorrow for Clayton Potter. That's an easy day, but unfortunately, it can actually bring out surprises. If you have things that can get you disqualified, example from service. And some of those you won't even know about until a doctor looks over you, says, duck walk, what is that hanging out your butt? And you can say, that's a little bit of Elton John. I did a bit of mountain climbing, found it was broken, and found an Elton on the top. But that's up to you. Mr. P, that's going to be my chin soon. No, I don't know why a man is so busy wanting another man to shave for him. The titanium cup is here for those that have been asking about it. Discontinued from Drifter. We've got a shirt here. A situation happened for Sebastian White. I went over today to send this shirt to him. Wait 2 seconds, Lauren.
Yeah.
This is one of our merch shirts. Bam, duty first. 343. Australia badge on the sleeve. And the logo for In the Trenches with Kaz on the front. That's one of the shirts. We were meant to go and give it today. And it's the only government-run building that we went into, and guess what? For some reason, for COVID, despite the fact that there's no one with it in New South Wales, is closed because of COVID. So I don't know what's going on there. But we'll get to the bottom of it, and that shirt will be in a post-pack coming out to you, Sebastian White. Racist.
Harry Carson has his OSB on Thursday.
Okay. The OSB, Harry Carson, where is he?
It was a fair way back. I had to scroll back to find it.
Harry Carson, if you can, mate, even for 1 month, get on Patreon. Get on there, become a member, get my number, the bat phone, and give me a call, and let's have a conversation for as long as it takes to get you ready for your OSB. It's important you do. We've helped out many people in the past. We don't give you a script because that wouldn't do you a favour, but we will tell you what to expect and what to prepare for, because we need the best people ready for officer selection, leadership, the burden of command, a different career, a place set apart, which is called holy by definition, in case you didn't know. Kane, how you going, mate? Mr. Jazza, this could be the week I get my enlistment date or enlightenment day.
Be good if we got an enlightenment day, wouldn't it?
It would be. Rob Kent, how you going with the animal that never bruises? He's the keeper of hounds, the lover of dogs. Hounds. Trey Osborne. G'day, buddy. Roman, love the name. Yeah, I'm keen on the merch. Got good taste, man. Thanks, we designed it.
Did you see Luke up there? Said, hey, Kaz, glad to say my ADFA OSB for Army pilot was successful. Now just fingers crossed that letter of offer comes through.
Well, this leads us down a good path. 2 seconds here, team, because we're going to get into the questions that you guys have actually registered. And yes, I have read them. And yes, we will be going through them for those that put them in. The YouTube requested Q&A for tonight. But pilot, when I spoke to Gerald today, a really, really good point came out. Now, it doesn't matter what corps you go for, whether you like it or not. If you're allergic to sweating, energy, the destruction of calories, I don't give a shit. You need to go out, you need to get fit and become the best version of you. Now, we've got the gentleman Luke up there that's become a pilot. Now, he might be intellectually one of the smartest people on this channel. I don't know. But so far he's been told testing for pilot, fantastic. But guess what? If Luke hasn't done the hard work, the cardio work, etc., if he's not in good shape, then no matter how smart he is, no matter how good his dexterity is, if he can't take the G's because of lack of physicality, bam, career ends almost straight away. If you want to go to infantry and you're a tough bastard, but you can't pass the cardio, well, guess what? Your career's over already. If you want to be a medic and you can't pass the fitness, your career's over already. Vice versa in every single corps. You don't get just to choose a corps which is going to be easiest for you physically and then go for that. There's still a requirement for you to be physically fit. You will be tested. It's not like the police force where you get one test one time, pass it, and then you can pull the fat cord and get as big as you want, as quick as you can, eating donuts for the rest of your life. You can't do that. Sorry to the police, thin blue line, I support you. You will get tested, and you should be tested every month. But PT will be an expectation almost every day. So you need to do something about it. Okay. Second, think smart in adverse conditions with a shortened amount of time to do so. Making hard decisions with a limited amount of information to go off to meet a mission requirement, which is faster than what you can. Fitness will help you do all of these things for a holistic, resilient, warrior mindset. You need to do it. You need to get around it. At the moment, there's a guy right now at the School of Infantry who wants a corps. He failed his BFA at the School of Infantry. And rather than go, shit, I need to learn from this. And by the way, this Monday, today, is the last infantry course commencing this year. So if you get in now, then you're not going to start your session until next year. That doesn't mean you get sent home to play Xbox, which you can't get because it's all sold out anyway. That means you stay there and you do hard PT to prepare you for potentially even not going home for Christmas if you come from Victoria, etc.
Yeah.
So guys and gals, just be ready for that if it occurs. We've got a lot of people getting told, yep, you can come in next year. We're getting a lot of people getting good news. A lot of people. Most people. Right? But guys and gals, if this is your dream career, dream calling, then you need to prove it and you need to turn it prepared. Because I'm telling you from the HR point of view, I reckon the Army does it completely wrong. Completely. I'm going to make a video on it. You should go in there, and in the same day you go in, you either come out, getting ready to come back at a fixed date within the month, to oath or affirmation, right hand, or you should be told come back in 1 year, not 6 months. It should be 1 year, or you're in. That's the only two answers you should hear, or not at all. Never come back. If you turn up to a fitness test and you cannot do it, despite the fact that all the information's there, you should be told never come back. That's what I believe, because you've already shown it's not your calling.
Yeah.
And maybe that could be appealed like a medical thing, where you can go, hey, look, on the day this occurred.
Yeah. Sometimes I think they should say, look, this isn't for you a bit more often.
Yeah, that's right. And I think it's really unfair the way recruiting actually tells people, yeah, no worries, mate, come back in 6 months, have another crack, when really they're thinking you're never going to get through ever, and we just haven't got the balls to tell you legit what's going down. We got Bill Nutty here. Thanks for always backing everyone, Kaz. We're here to help, sir. We are here to help. And your sea sick cow. Bam. I accept. Bill, you are the first cow of the night. You're in the paddock. Legit. Well done.
Yep.
Got my letter of intent today, Kaz. Just waiting for my phone call tomorrow for a PFA date in Melbourne. Ben, that's fantastic, mate. Go in there and blast it, righto? And all you need to do is keep going until they say stop, except for sit-ups. You shouldn't be doing any more than 70 sit-ups. If they don't stop you, stop at 70 sit-ups, because that's definitely a pass, and it will affect your beep test run. So believe me, the people that are going to be there for the testing, the PDIs, those that will come up to you and say who has a reason or who cannot give their best performance today, then you've got to put your hand up. Because if you don't put your hand up, you can cuff it like Chris Watts on a lie detection test on the Shannon, then you're not going to make it, and you'll have no excuses.
Good analogy.
Yeah, that's a really good series. But honestly, you really need to watch the YouTube interviews on Shannon and Chris Watts.
Yeah. Anthony L has asked, don't you only get one attempt at Special Forces selection?
You don't get any attempts, Anthony. You have to earn the psych to get through to it. You have to be told by your own staff, yes, they'll release you for that. If you're a shit fight outfield, if they think you're wasting the time of Special Forces, you can get told no, that you can never even have an attempt from your unit, let alone Special Forces. But then when you go to their recruiting day, and there's a difference between being told, no, you can't go for it because we don't want to release you, as opposed to, no, you can't go because you don't show enough conviction for this role, let alone that role. Because remember, we're going to know people in Special Forces. And they'll hear about you coming before you get there.
Yeah, exactly. And there are people who have, tried, like, I don't know if it's the Carter course or something, tried, failed, and tried again, and end up there.
There's people that have had 2 or 3 attempts and still got in.
Yep, that's right. Nito Mosquito said his missus is off to Sydney tomorrow to start quarantine, and she starts Pookie on the 19th.
Well done. But if you stay together and she has kids, does that mean their mother's got army boots? That was an old saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's so offensive anymore.
She only gets one. She only gets 2 pairs, really.
Yeah. Jared Kiss has asked about medical appeals. The chances are pretty good, Jared. A lot of people are able to appeal, aren't they?
You are able to appeal. The thing with the appeals is, but that it has to be new medical evidence, and that can be costly. It can be. And you hear some of the people, and one of the dramas that I believe that occurs is we have non-military people making military calls on military prospects. I don't believe that anyone that has not worn the uniform should be able to make an assumption. Okay, the doctor, I get it, on you. Because if you've been Army or, Navy or Air Force, you don't know about the Army. And I tell you what, they're not the same. The Air Force is not the same as the Army. If I want to join the Air Force, I want to speak to someone from Air Force. If I want to join the Army, I want to speak to someone from Army.
And I think that's fair.
Yep.
I think that's fair.
Okay, Snake. Hey, Kaz and team, what attributes lead to a promotion for an NCO role in the Army? That'll come a little bit with time, a lot of it with positions requested normally by a CSM, a warrant officer who will say, hey, we need some people, we need 3 people from your course to go on to subject 1 with JLC, Junior Leadership Training course. You know, give me the names. We've got no one that we want to push forward. Don't care. Give me 3, which means people will get pushed onto the course before they're ready. Sometimes, well, you're never ready. You shit yourself. It's the hardest course you do. You go from being a soldier to yelling at soldiers, to stepping up, burden of command, to not being one of the boys necessarily, to having alternative tasks to do. So you can ask for it, and older members will often be pushed up the ranks quicker because they've already got that life experience. Normally also have a family and also want to step away from just being the kid with the big arms chasing the girls pointlessly in the pack while they go to Cactus Jacks, and live on coffee, protein powders, right, and tacos and kebabs and women you wouldn't introduce to your mother.
Nito Mosquito said he's already in and he tried to clue his missus in the best he could. And I think that would have given her an advantage,
Absolutely. And when in doubt, you can always say, hey, whack her on Patreon for 1 month and tell her to give me a call if you trust me, and you can, and I'll talk to her and fill her in. Not like that.
Absolutely. No. Yeah, come on now. Everything was going so well.
People come here for the wit. I'm going to answer some of these questions now that people asked today. JC's one of them. And how is everyone going? It is a public holiday today, and I don't even know what for.
And do you know who's here?
Who?
Neville Bloody Bartos.
Neville Bloody Bartos. There's no cash here, Neville. None. Should I be qualified in signals? I've got 2 of these here.
Okay.
Where are we? Community.
Yep.
Okay. For those that saw the beautiful photo that we put up, bam. Oops, you can't see it properly. Okay, we took that looking at the moon on Stockton Beach a few days ago. On Thursday afternoon, I should be heading into or up the coast or down the coast for somewhere wherever I lay my hat.
Yep.
That's going to be her home. Bailey's hat, is he here? He's always one of the first on.
We just got an orange cow from Roman.
What's going on? Sunburnt, slip, slop, slap. Wait a second. Hey, Kaz, after Kapuka, do you get time off at Sino to see your family if you're based around Newey? Well, let's answer that one with this first. I accept. Thank you for your trust in the answers that I give you, mate. Thank you for the donations during these difficult times as well. This will go towards my bot fly removal one day when I need to go somewhere that has bot flies, and I'll appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now, the answer to your question before I go into the other questions is when you are in the School of Infantry and you're going through there and you have earned your weekend, because we can take the weekend anytime we want, then what will occur is if you have local leave, you can go as far south as Sydney. Okay? Maybe not at the moment, depending on what's going on with the COVID restrictions, and they will differ depending on your performance, etc., in your platoon. But you will be given time to go to Newcastle, to go to Stockton, sort of Newcastle, get on the ferry. That's where I came from. And from there, you will get that opportunity. What you can't do, and what you should be careful of, is telling your family, come up here in 2 weekends' time, having them book flights, having them go through administrational and financial situations to come and see you when it's no guarantee that you'll be released. So you'll put in a leave form and say, yes, I want to go down. I want to see my family. And that way, if your platoon gets in the shit and you come to someone like me as an instructor, and I know it's important, I won't give a shit about you, but I'll care about your family. And I'll say, and I'll pretend to be angry, and I'll be like, Roman, this is not about you. I don't want to punish your family, so I'm going to let you go this time. Because I don't want to punish your family, mate. They love you, they believe in you, and they know why. So the answer to your question, long answer, is yes, mate. You will get the opportunity to go and see your family. You'll get the opportunity to go down and make a family. Some of the most beautiful girls in the world are in Newcastle, but they move fast. They're hard to catch. I met one going through Singo, married her and was divorced within 6 months. She was a stallion. No, I was a stallion.
Yeah.
All right. JC, mate, maybe Singo needs to be added as a Simon. Needs to be added as a moderator. We'll look into that, Simon.
Yeah, because I think so too. Because when I'm on the stream, it's actually a little bit hard for me to keep up with the chat sometimes. So it'd be helpful if there was,
Okay.
someone to replace me.
What I want to see, if Simon Powell deserves to be in blue,
He already deserves it.
I don't make these decisions. It's up to you guys. If you want Simon reaching into your life and you want him to go blue, considering he was Air Force, but if he was Navy and fell overboard, he'd be blue as well. Or if he was in the Army and got PTSD and was sad, he could be blue as well.
Yeah.
If you want him to turn blue, I want to see some thumbs up on the likes, and I want to see some thumbs up in the chat, because this is a permanent decision. This is a good or bad tattoo. It's all up to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Lauren is falling asleep on the thumb. Neville Bartos, a man of fewest words possible, throws up one. And have we even asked if he wants to be one?
We haven't. We don't care. Ryan's calling the cops for some reason.
I don't know what's happened there with Ryanopoulos.
Yeah.
Harpy. I've married one of those too. Jet. Billy and the Jets.
I agree with you, Jason.
JC, there's no more deserving man in the community.
Yeah.
He's a bloody great bloke.
He's a really, really great community.
He's a bloody big bloke, and that's why we say that to Patreon. Bam! That's coming to you, big fella.
Yeah.
Is he on here still?
Yeah, he might be, unless he's gone to talk to his daughter. Which, as we know, family always...
Who comes first? Okay. When he pops up, let us know, and we're going to convert him. The Lurker. Always great to see you there.
Yes.
With all his thumbs up, we've got to be careful. Ivan Milat might be watching. But he's dead now, isn't he?
I don't know. Is he?
I hope so. Okay, we've got the first one, which is from Scotty.
Go.
This is the first question that's been thrown out to us. Guys and gals, go a little bit easier there. At the moment, just save your the comments down there. And if you've got an important comment, can you keep the donations low? If you throw it out there and it's $1, we'll still see it. All right? And we'll see it jump up. But at the moment, Scott, pros and cons of living on base as opposed to living off base.
Yep.
While you're living on base, it is important that when you're young that you live on base, because you need to marry your platoon. What do I mean by that? And this is a pro. You don't want to be distracted by your own cocoon, your own hermit shell, going off base, and then they only see you during work hours. By staying on base, you're always available. You knit with the community. You're always available. You can't be late. You're new to this new family, the infantry family, the army family. People can help get you up if you're hungover. It means that you're bringing down the costs. You may not even need a car for the first year or two if you go to Townsville. The pros of that is that the rent is next to nothing. Everything's included, including aircon. You can opt to have food also thrown in, not thrown at you. Right?
Yep.
And what will happen is the platoon sergeant will come over and look at your lines, and we will determine whether you can move out or not. If you don't have the domestic shit down pat, if you're a grub, and that's not because there's anything wrong with you, you've just never cleaned up for yourself or had that unsupervised requirement. I was a messy bastard, despite the fact that my dad was military. What'll happen is we'll come over, kick your ass, and prevent you from going out so you don't make mistakes by going and renting a $600,000 house with your buddies and doing irreversible damage to it, and getting yourself in a pinch. You also, all the things that are on barracks. You've got the mess hall, you've got the Olympic swimming pool, you've got the Olympic gym, Olympic bars at the communal gym. It's all free.
Yeah,
running.
And importantly, you've got the other people you're working with, so you've got a chance to bond really well with them.
Yep, and we've got Neville Bardos. Neville, the Townsville accommodation is sweet. I need some photos sent to me. If anyone from Patreon out there has some photos that live in lines, can you send them to me onto the bat phone so I can put them in a video?
Lines weren't that great back in the day.
Not in my day. They were less than jail quality.
Yeah. Like I said, never really went inside, so I don't know. But from the outside, they didn't look too flash.
It was like Shutter Island. Girls could come in, but they could never escape.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good question.
When you go outfield, there's no dramas. You don't come back to a lawn that's 6 foot tall.
Yeah,
your car is secure.
Yeah. You don't have inspections and rentals and things like that. It can make life simpler. You can save a lot of money.
You can. And that's what I was going to talk about too. It allows you to save up a house deposit, right, while you're going through training. And then once you get to Townsville and you successfully get into routine living in, save a bit more, go outfield, make the friends, mateships, brothers.
Yeah.
And from there, what you could do is you could buy a house. You could buy a house. You could move in 2 or 3 mates that lived in, came up with you.
Yep.
Right. And then from there, you could have $200,000, in the next, saved up in equity, etc., at the end of your 4 years, which means you could effectively set your life up.
Yeah, exactly. If you're smart with your money, and I suggest you do be, because sometimes when you're very young, it might be the first time you've actually had a lot of cash at your disposal. So do try and be smart with it.
I've blown a lot of king's ransoms, hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
And one of the biggest mistakes people make as soldiers is they buy a flash car. You want to buy a flash car? Guess what? You're normally too drunk to drive it. Okay, people go to Townsville and they buy a $50,000 car in an area you can drive across in 15 minutes, and there's nowhere outside that 15 minutes. Now, if you're going to get it because you're going to drive to Brisbane at Christmas, if you're going to drive up to Cairns all the time, then so be it, or Sydney or Newcastle, then do it. But really have a good think about, do you need that car to just get around Townsville, so to speak? And there's always people that made mistakes with cars that are willing to sell their car privately on base.
Yeah, same as like some people get really flash motorbikes and that when they've not even got a motorbike license yet, so be smart about it. Do work towards your goals and your dreams, but just like in civilian life, just be clever.
And it's scary when you see people get bikes up there. We have a lot of bike accidents.
It is, that's true. Yeah, and some of them are, fatal. So you really have to, just be smart. It
is a town with too much testosterone.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a sec. We've got Flubber Dubber and friends. Hey, Kaz, what do platoon sergeants do exactly?
Naksuko!
Press that button.
Naksuko!
I accept! Mate, what do platoon sergeants do? Thanks for the seasick cow too. Mate, platoon sergeant is the mentor. He is the father of the platoon. He is the guy that has his hand up the platoon commander's ass. He has all the ground proof. He has all the, hopefully, respect and credibility within the battalion, and he is there to keep the lieutenant, the platoon commander, inside the inside his lane, to keep him from being or getting himself in trouble. He is there to war game with the platoon commander. He is there to assist the platoon commander in complex decisions, in compressed timelines, but he is also the conduit between the officers, the official elite class, the executive class, and that of the ORs, the other ranks. So basically, if something has to happen between the officers' ranks and the OR ranks, he is the one that does the bridging there. He will be the one that kicks the ass of section commanders, lance corporals, and private soldiers. He is the disciplinarian. He is the only one that can sign off training outcomes for soldiers within a platoon. He is the guy that can give relationship advice, despite the fact that he can't slam dunk himself. He can still tell you how to do it, because he's probably made the mistakes, and that's where his information comes from. He's normally spent a lot more time on this earth than anyone else in the platoon, normally. Okay, and from there, he can give you all of the communications and the advice that you need for anywhere within infantry. He is the expert, or signals, or transport. He needs to be able to do all the jobs that he asks you to do as good or better, and he does it through action. And what he does, he translates the platoon morale, etc., and guides that platoon commander. He keeps the ship afloat. That's what he does.
Okay, what's the next question?
The next question. The cons to living out is it's goddamn expensive. You come back to the jungle weeds. You can make mistakes. You've got neighbours that aren't military. Righto? There's a whole bunch of administrational shit that can go, and your house can turn into a jungle. Okay, Darcy. Ever discussed Army in Motion? Was reading a bit of the recent statement on Army's focus on being ready now, future ready. I think your experience would lend a good outlook on this idea. Okay, what I think, because we've got the reset readiness year, ready, reset, I can't remember what it is. I don't agree with it. I'll tell you what's happening. There's 3 phases that the military can go for in your unit, and there is a really negative side to that. What used to be when I was in the in infantry was every single year you had to be ready, and it was calendar year, not financial year. So what happened was there was a little bit of time to pull the lazy cord, fat cord, relaxation cord over the Christmas holidays if you weren't online, which means they don't go on leave at all. But what occurs is that we were ready every year. You did your soldier skills at the start of the year, and then you moved on to section skills, then you moved on to platoon skills, then on to company, then on to battalion, then on to brigade. And you just rinsed and repeated that continually year after year after year. There was nothing wrong with it. The danger is we had the operational tempo, which meant people had to come back, reset, mend, and then be prepared to go again or rest, etc. But if you come out of School of Infantry, if you come out of School of Transport, if you come out of School of Signals, Armoured Corps, etc., and you come in after there's been a heavy operational readiness year and you're starting to go back into the rest cycle, what's going to happen? Are you going to think that that is the normal MO for the battalion, for the unit? That you come in during the lazy year and you don't take your job seriously, or you feel uninspired? Because this is all about money. It's not about capability necessarily. It's about money. Money is what this is about. The reason why our sections are 8 men and not 9 men is because of money. The reason why we have people that aren't or don't belong in infantry being allowed to join, the reason why we have relaxed identity politics occurring is because of money, is because of political reasons, because of political pressure. It's wrong. And you don't pay the price until you go back overseas and people go, on paper, you guys were perfect. But holy shit, it looks like we've got to relearn the lessons of the past. There is nothing wrong with hitting the ground running, coming from Singleton, and then having potentially a little bit of time for acclimatisation, administration. But there's also nothing wrong with grabbing someone and go, you're going to learn the hard way, son. You're going to Brook, sleeves down, helmet on. If you go down with heat, guess what? You didn't drink enough water. You learn the hard way. The school of hard knocks. That's what you join for. You're a volunteer. I don't believe in these different treatments of units. I think there's a detrimental effect. And I believe it's all about money. All of it. Because you've got to remember, when I joined, there was no computers. There was typewriters. So guess what? There was almost none of paperwork. And if there's no paperwork, guess what's happening? There's action. We're out training. But now every training incident either has a report that comes after it. It has a financial aspect to it. So sometimes it's easier to have that downtime and let the coffers come back up and save for a big activity that's sometimes the wrong ones. More time needs to be spent on soldier skills, shooting, okay, ration packs field, fitness, than what it does at brigade level. At brigade level, that's big hands, big maps, making big pieces move around and not looking at what's happening down at the fine scales. And the fine scale is where we make fine mistakes. Fine mistakes lead to training, skill fade, which results in how the hell did the straw break the camel's back? Well, one piece at a time. All it is one skill, one thing disappears, and then that makes way for another, and before you know it, the surge comes in, the ship sinks. So I'm not sure if that's what you're after.
Yeah, I think you answered the question.
Thank you.
What's next?
Okay, the next one's from Retro Gaming. What's your opinion on those who sign the dotted line by their choice versus those who are conscripted into signing? Well, no one gets conscripted into signing. We're a volunteer army and always have been. We had the Nashos for Vietnam, but those that went to Vietnam also went by choice. I don't want conscripts at all.
No.
I don't want to be around them. I wouldn't trust them if they don't want to be there. And it's hard enough when you've got, and JC will tell you this, when you've got volunteers that don't want to be there anymore, let alone conscript. You're here against your own choice. Are they going to become a problem every time you ask them to do something? Well, I never asked to be here. Sending them for jail to roll in their eyes. Yeah, they're going to be happy with that. That's going to improve them. If you get conscripted, that's because not enough people are putting their hand up. If not enough people get putting their hand up, it's because the fight is not worth the squeeze. The rub is not worth the squeeze. And these days, I still believe Australians are as patriotic as they've ever been. But now there's a conscience. And they're like, I don't want to go over and die for a bullshit political idolisation of something that I don't agree with. But if Australian shores were in danger, which they weren't in World War II, okay, beyond, we seem to think that Japan didn't even have the manpower to even be able to take bloody Australia. I think it was fake news. I think they were just coming and probing and having a look, seeing what they could get away with. Bloody Aussies. But no, I don't want conscripts. I don't want to work with them either.
I don't think anyone wants them. The general public don't want that to happen. I don't think anyone wants that to happen.
And guess what? Every army that uses conscripts, guess what they're notorious at doing? Losing.
Yeah,
They lose.
You want volunteers. All right, great. You answered that one. You're moving through them. What's next?
Look, this was one of the reasons why I got divorced the first time.
Am I nagging you? I apologize.
No. Stephen has asked me the great debate, Coke versus Pepsi.
Oh.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's merit to the colour of the can. I like blue. I'm wearing it.
The design is nice.
The design is nice, but it's fake news. Whatever is in a Pepsi can's bullshit. It's a disgrace. I'll accept it on an off-pay week on an operational tour in the absence of anything else sugary. But it's a disgrace.
However, if anyone would like to see Kaz sculling a can of Pepsi, they can go to the epic stream we did and see him scull one.
And I've been to the doctor since that, and he reckons my liver has now been affected, as well as my credibility. Coca-Cola is the sexiest brand for its age. Watching Elle McPherson in her heyday running down the beach with a Coca-Cola, fantastic.
Yeah,
Nothing
beautiful.
brushes your teeth better than a Coca-Cola. When you're overseas, there is nothing better than the sugary hit of a warm Coca-Cola while you're patrolling, while a little black boy comes running up to you, or Asian, or Egyptian, and cocker, you want cock? And I'm like, not today, son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, a drink. I was going to go on you, a sailor, but...
Retro wants to know what flavour you like. Do you like vanilla, plain, peach, no sugar? What sort of Coke do you like?
You're starting shit now.
Yeah.
You're starting
It's
shit
not
now.
original, right?
There's only one Coke. Vanilla Coke, what that is for is cheap bastards that won't buy ice cream and Coca-Cola, mix it together and make women's most hated insect, the spider. Your grandparents, if you've got some, would have made one of those for you. You don't need to buy it already mixed in the bottle. There's only one. Coke. Coke is it. If there's a choice of Coke or it's in glass or in a can, I choose glass.
Yeah, I agree. Could you just give Simon a spanner there while he's on the screen?
Is he here, is he?
Yeah, he's right there, and I think he might be correct about Elle Macpherson walking down the beach with a tab.
In my eyes, I always saw a Coke.
Yeah, I think he is right though. Lovely lady, she's still very lovely.
You can put her on my tab.
Yeah.
And his sister probably, Elle Macpherson's sister probably doesn't remember giving me a kiss on Anzac Day a few years ago while her husband was looking the other way.
That's right, I remember you telling me that. Who's going to get upset about a digger getting a kiss on Anzac Day? No one.
Yeah. Wait.
They're a mug.
I'm trying to...
Give Simon a spanner.
It's not letting me.
You can get rid of my spanner.
Wait. It's not letting me do it.
Why not?
I don't know.
Reached your limit.
Maybe. I don't know. Simon, it's not letting me do it to you, mate.
We'll figure it out. But there is, I know how we can do it off.
Oh, no, here it is.
You doing it?
I nearly accidentally reported him.
No, don't report him.
Simon Powell is now a moderator for your channel.
Yay.
He's going to turn blue, and we don't mean holding his breath at the bottom of a swimming pool.
Yep. Don't want that.
Well done. The
yeah,
Raffy's back in blue. You saw it all here on In the Trenches with Kaz. Rewards for Raffies, because they're not very resilient. They need continual rewards.
I do have a special place in my heart for the RAF because my grandfather and my great uncle were both RAF. So, I do have a special place in my heart for them.
And they both came back alive, yeah?
No, you love them too, secretly, don't you?
Well, I lost a family member who was Air Force. Sadly, one of my great uncles, was an arsehole, a dickhead, and he kept jumping the fence every time he was meant to be getting deployed, going overseas. So his brother joined out of embarrassment to the family, went over to New Guinea, and was lopping trees down, making an airfield to fight the Jap, who I love now, the Japanese. And halfway through a tree, they heard a splinter and a crack, and the tree fell, and they all scattered, and he got hit by the tree and killed.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What a way to go.
Most people die of accidents overseas.
Yeah, I think that might even be true at home too. Accidents do constitute a big percentage. Yeah, but that's great to see Simon in blue, though.
It is. For those that don't know what's going on, I asked for your questions earlier on the community tab, and I'm answering the questions that were actually put to me, okay? So they take priority at the moment.
Their questions. I'm not ignoring your questions. It's just that we had set questions tonight.
Aaron Mills has asked, long-armed, tall as hell, Aaron Mills, medical issues before employment. Look, if there was no one joining the military, what I want you to do at the moment is I want all of you guys to put yourself on the side of the Army's desk instead of being the applicant. And I want you to put 10 people in front of you. You need 6 people. 10 people come in. 4 of them have got an injury. Some major, some slight. Who you automatically going to take? The 6 without. That's all that the Army's doing. At the moment, when they've got more people than they possibly need to come in, you're making it very hard for yourself to get employed through no fault of your own by the simple fact that you have a disqualifying factor. The same people that have got these factors that the Army's telling them, no, come back another time, because they don't want to give you the hard news. One day, when you don't even think about military anymore, when they've told you no, you're going to get a call when they've run out of people coming through the door and they're going to want you back. It's the cycle that it goes in. But sometimes you need to look at your own injury and you need to ask, would you hire you? Some people have 3 or 4 different ailments that come to me and go, oh, do you reckon I'll have trouble getting in? You're going, you just said you got depression, bad back, bad knees, criminal record, shin splints, and a wrecked knee, and maybe asthma. You're going to have no chance. You know, the longer you wait in life to go and be military, it's a young man's game. The longer you wait, the less chance you've got of getting in. That's what we're going to talk about with Fugly when it comes to a trade. You can go and go to military and do a trade, but you're rarely going to do a trade and go to military. That is the young man's thing. Why'd you turn your back on 4-year commitment to a trade? You sign the dotted line. You know, you can go in the military and then you can do a trade, then get in the army, or get in the army and then go to engineers and do a trade.
Yeah, or do a trade and join the reserves.
Yep, do both. Absolutely. That was a great one, actually.
Yeah.
JC says, Kaz, we always talk about the positives of joining the military.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to discuss the negatives of service. We'll come back to that question if we get time. I'll address it quickly, actually.
Simon has just asked how Dicko's travelling, because we haven't heard from him lately. Is Dicko all right?
Dicko's got 2 fantastic kids, Liam and Koa, that like to pull in opposite directions of the wool that the cat likes to play with.
Yep.
You know, which means he's a fantastic dad. Yep. You know, he's got a fantastic wife, Dana. He's got fantastic kids at school holidays. You know, he loves UFC. He loves computer games. He loves chicken, and he loves sleeping. You know, and he's got a new dog as well. So all of these things, you know, when Dick goes quiet, it's because he's tired.
Yeah, I imagine he'll be back at some point, right?
Yeah. We've got 2 more registered questions. One is from Mr. P, you know, and the other one is from JC. We'll do Mr. P first because he rarely makes it past the hour.
Yep.
And I better read it first because sometimes Mr. P puts something in there you wouldn't read out loud. Or Mr. P asks, why is the higher command, the leadership, trying so hard to make up composition, structure of the services? Is it due to technical advancement of equipment, or their ideas that has been in their can of worms? Maybe look at me. That is what I've done. Okay, I think each one of them wants a legacy. I think the very first thing they do is go in the opposite of what they should do, with closed ears and open mouth instead of closed mouth, open ears. When you move into a business, you should move in there and say, does anything at all need changing? If nothing, then don't. Because that's a leadership decision in itself, to be able to commend the person before you. We've discussed this before. If you were taking over from Rommel, for example, a fantastic individual, officer, leader, you know, and you went in there and you made changes, if you cleaned off the table for the next soldiers that were coming in, whether that's Liam O'Brien, whether that's Peter Cronin, whether that's Mike Ledger, you know, you might be making a bloody big mistake. You don't rock the ship until you know how it floats.
Look, in Australia we have that great saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Hey, Darcy, yeah, you going, mate? We just got one. Remember. Here we go, marriage. It's a Kraken. Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, calamari. Well done, Darcy. Can we get some thumbs up down there for the Kraken for Darcy, and understand that Stoddy's not on tonight because he's doing some study.
Yeah, he's keeping up with his schoolwork, which is what we want him to do.
He is.
But, you know, that was a really good question, because some of the decisions that the people who are making the decisions, and I suppose there's very few of them really once you get that high, right? I think maybe, you know, making the decision, thinking of their future outside of the army. Some of them have even like political ambitions or public ambitions, and I think that's where maybe this PC has crept in.
And if they think that way, they should resign, they should be sacked, and their commission should be ripped up in front of them.
Exactly. They should just go get on the speaking circuit straight away instead of, you know, joining the forces.
But you know what? They're not good enough to do it.
They don't have the strength of character.
I saw a really bad leadership decision, one of the worst I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't by military, it was by a footballer. And that was Jared Hayne. Jared Hayne went from being one of Australia's heroes. He was an icon. He was a leader. But then when he went over and decided to become NFL, everyone went, awesome. Okay, awesome. Look at him go. But then he came back and tried to just go into other teams, into the Fiji World Cup side, into all these things. You go, what are you doing? Have some loyalty. Don't try and set up your next life while you're in this life. Don't do it, because now no one trusts you. Now it looks like you're using us. He already had set, what would he call it? He had set entertainment performances ready for when he was going to score. Yep. So that tells you it's all about him. It has to be about him. Yep. A leader is meant to make a military better than what it was when he came, sure.
And I think it's doubly nefarious when we're getting people, as a civilian, we don't want people coming from the military with their own agendas. If they're in the military, we want them to be on board with Australia's agenda, not their own personal agenda.
That's right. We've got Ivan, my favourite Rusky, down there. We're going to have a, what do you call it? We might set up something to have, there might be a series of names that we're going to bring out soon, just random names of channel members, and there'll be a bounty when they turn up. When you're the actual serving member, let's get one thing straight. The one thing that really sucks about the Army, and this is in line with JC's question, is the double standard. That the officer comes in, and he'll take all of the rewards of being commissioned, but he'll put his nose up at all the burdens of that command quite often. And that can be standards, that can be the same timings that he would charge a soldier for, that can be his obligation to be morally, have moral courage in the absence of physical courage that we're required to have. He may have none of it and become a yes man, while still being a dick while they're within their job, knowing that we can't rebuttal or tell him when he's wrong, etc. They have a lot of power. They do. And once they get higher and higher, there's less people that can actually communicate to them and say, you're making a mistake here. And when it gets to the very top, there is no one in this frickin' planet that could tell me the rationale behind having fit prep, which allows people that have failed the minimum standard for joining the military to be allowed to then go and be paid to go and do residential 7 weeks when they can only do 2 push-ups. Regardless of what your background is, if you can do your 2 push-ups, never apply for the military. If you can do only 5, never apply for the military. Your job is to turn up prepared. If you can't prepare yourself, then it was never a dream job. Or even worse, if it is your dream job and you can only do 5 push-ups, you're just not going to be competent. That's it.
Exactly. You have to be able to have the strength of character to meet your dreams, and it's hard work. Dreams don't just happen. You have to make them happen.
Look, I see people that get in the job that get a commission, and they have a very, very hard job socially, because one, they have to earn their stripes, so to speak, despite the fact they don't wear stripes.
We know what you mean.
But when they come in, they have to say a certain amount of yeses as opposed to questions they ask. I get that. I do. But when they come in, they must be shaking their head going, how am I supposed to have a successful mission on getting this force from point A to point B during this time with time compressed limitations, okay, and get them there and still be effective when you've got a HR department that has never worn a uniform that is sending me the worst trainees over better qualified trainees because of affirmative action, because of gender-specific identity politics. You're going, dude, I am the one that has to get this mission success, and you're giving me broken tools and then telling me not to complain about my tools. And what's worse, you're costing millions of dollars to the Army, to the Navy, to the Air Force by having people that rotate through so quickly because they were never the right person from the beginning. if you get someone to go all the way through training and you softball them, if you take away all the gates that give them the attributes that they need to be successful, to test them, to simulate what they're going to meet in a graduated experience once they get to domestic training, etc., what's going to happen when they're with the rest of a call sign, when it's too late, when they're on the team, when they make either fitness, capability, decision-making, fraternisation, allegations, all of these things happen around the person that is just spiralling down out of control and wants to blame everyone except himself. One of those people, just one, can cost capability, can cost millions of dollars, and it can also cost due to the hatred that Army has, because we're not allowed to be political. All we've got to do is stand up, get up, rinse and repeat, and do our job. But when we see a double standard, when people only have to serve half the time we do half the PT we do, but get paid the same, you're going to cause division. And when you cause division, but you still say we're all one army, that's wrong. We're not. You don't give dual standards to people where there is a fault line that is easily defined. Otherwise, it will cause dramas. And dramas cause a lack of morale. And when a lack of morale occurs, it costs money. It costs discharges. It costs retraining. Hey, Ben Fisher. Kaz, thanks for the video message Saturday night. That's okay, Betty. It's okay, mate. Did you catch the fish, sir? And thank you very much for the seasick cow there.
I accept.
I'm going to ask you a quick question here, and you can be straight up with this one if you want. Put a thumbs up if it offends you that I shoot straight down the barrel and let you know exactly from the platoon sergeant's perspective what I see wrong in the military, what I see and I've had on the other side of the desk, and what I've been part of at times myself. If you think I'm off mark or you don't like the way I deliver it, throw a thumbs up. Let us know. I don't mind.
Yeah, no, we welcome discussion even if you don't agree. That's fine.
Because the reason why I say that is because after having an excellent conversation with Gerald today, one of the things that he couldn't believe, not that he didn't believe it, he was just so surprised about, was the way that everything was on the table. There was nothing off limits. There was no subject you couldn't talk about. There was no kibosh. There was no, what would we call it? There was no cancel culture on what either one of us was saying. He couldn't believe we're having such a candid conversation on the very first communications we'd ever had. Now, I learnt from him. He learnt from me. It was fantastic. We hardly spoke about the questions he wanted to ask. We built the rapport one-on-one through the bat phone so that he felt like, okay, do I listen to this chap or not? Right?
And that's people's choice. They don't have to. They can listen to the advice and they can take it or leave it, in life.
Yeah.
From anyone.
I'll give you a hint, but if all you ever get is warm air in your sails,
exactly,
you better start wondering what's going wrong. If you agree with everything that you hear around you,
look, that's one of the problems.
Change your friends.
People. It's one of the problems with the people with political ambitions and that we were talking about before. They surround themselves with sycophants instead of actually allowing people in their circle who maybe offer some resistance to their opinions.
Yep.
Not healthy.
It's not healthy. And you're going to have people like Neville Bartos, okay, that one day is in a position that has rank, who has to make a hard decision. I'm going to explain one of these situations that happened today. Put some thumbs up if you want to hear one of the stories that I told today and how it went down when I did this. Because I tell you what, at the time, it didn't go down well, but it was because of individual offence taken. I didn't give it. They took it. Okay? Yeah, so if you want to know about that, put the thumbs down and let's talk about it.
Yeah, we're not usually offended by what people say, but by our reaction to it.
Yeah. Justin waits for how long? Yaros, for some reason, it always reminds me of kebab. James, Robbie Kent, leave that dog alone. Who's that guy in blue? It's Simon Powell. Very similar situation between the Northern and the Southern Air Force. Northern Air Force do a lot of exercise type war games, and the Southern Air Force are virtually Monday to Friday. Yeah, I get that. Darcy, you look good there, mate, in green. Okay, I'm going to give you an answer. Ryan Oplis throws him right out there. Liam O'Brien. Retro gaming.
So tell us the story.
Okay, the story was, I was up in the junior leadership training facility up in Townsville.
Yep.
Okay, it was just about to be lunchtime. My Ducati was sinking into the bitumen there, and despite the fact that it was bad for my bike and my nuts, they told me you have to park in the allocated parking spots. I didn't agree. I got in trouble. But they said to me, Kaz, we don't have time. We've dropped the ball. We need to make a test that the trainees, there's about 70 of them, are going to sit down to test them on leadership. You need to give them a dilemma that they need to listen to, something that we can actually teach them something, but also something that is edgy. I went, okay, I'm the man for that. I'm a shit stirrer. Mr. P, great to still have you here. So I went, right, no worries. So what I did was I made a dilemma for these people. Males, females, old, younger, all of them there from all different corps, all corps background. So I went in there and I said, okay, I'm going to make a scenario for you. So I walked in, called them in, let them know, have some patience here, because this is the first time this has ever been delivered. You're the pilot. And I said, okay, you're all in a platoon sergeant's position. You're Lance Corporals. You're going for Lance Corporal at the moment. 2 up, chain of command. You've got to be able to do it. You're going to make some hard decisions here. Righto. You've just received a phone call from the CSM, the company sergeant major, and he has said to you that there is a trip that is about to go to either Iraq or Afghanistan. I can't remember. But what's happening is you need to pick 3 people from your call sign who have 1 week to prepare, and they are going on this trip. And they need to find out today, and you've got 15 minutes to give me an answer to who's going. Now, that 15 minutes was actually 5 minutes, but I said hypothetically 15 minutes. And then what I gave them was 10 individuals with different bios that I'd made up. Now, there was a single female. There was a female that was a mother who had never been overseas and had some money problems. There was a guy who was getting out of the army but was language trained, dialect, okay, for the Middle East, etc. And there was all sorts of individuals. And anyway, I got the first guy up, first guy or first girl. And I said, righto, so you're going to the Middle East to teach IMTs, infantry minor tactics, to Arabs to prepare them for the threat force so they can stand on their own 2 feet, so to speak. No worries. Does anyone have any questions with that? No. Okay, you're first. We don't ask who's first. We tell with pauses who's first. Pause. Bam. You. Get up. Come. Deliver now. Oh, okay. They turn up. They stand up there. And then I said, okay, and you can go next. Do you know who's going next? Yeah, you. And I got up some people. I knew what I was going to do here, but I was also ad-libbing as I went. Right, first person. Okay, tell me who's on your list out of 10 in order. Who is it? And he goes, bam, starts popping the people off. And his third choice was one of the female soldiers. And I think it was because he wanted to help the mother out, put some money in her pocket, all that sort of stuff. And then I remember saying to him, okay, stop right there. Stop there. I said, mate, I told you in the brief that you were sending someone over, 3 people, to go to the Middle East to teach infantry minor tactics to Arabs, Muslim Arabs, so they can prepare stability within their own country, and you put a woman in there. Why? Why did you put a female in there? You have already deeply offended.
Yeah, it's antagonistic.
Okay,
Yep.
so I deliberately threw this in there, but that deliberately offended the Arab people who are our client. You chose someone of the opposite gender, which is against their customs and traditions,
Yep.
to teach them about something that she's not qualified in either.
Look, that's insane, because to me that's the same as someone who's done time for domestic violence, working in a domestic violence shelter.
Exactly. So the moral of the story was, You need to be able to make hard decisions, and the burden of command starts with command. In the absence of uniformed members in a civilian area and you are a soldier and you are off duty, the expectation is that you are a good Samaritan, that you step up there. You don't have to go up and go, I'm an Australian soldier and I'm telling you to stop. Your job is to go up there and say, I'm telling you to stop. When there is one commander there, he has to make the hard decisions amongst the soldiers. If you have to make the hard decision, you think about what you have to achieve. You don't care or think about the feelings of the soldiers within your call sign. The soldier that had his discharge in that could speak the dialect also got sent overseas. So it wasn't just about disqualifying women from going. The other guy, service needs, you can speak the language, your discharge is in, no worries, torn up, you're going overseas. I hope he comes back safely. But you will have to make decisions like this. And what we're seeing at the moment is the military, they chose to disregard the customs and traditions of the client because they were too worried about offending their own. Your job is about delivering capability.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's about. And they didn't deliver, so they automatically fail. And that caused some shit, but it also caused some thought. And you know what? For the rest of that course, because it goes for 8 weeks, I had people still coming up to me at the end of it, trying to explain to me why they made the decision they made. They just could not get it out of their system. You feel like going, that's wrong too. You are not meant to own a plan when you're in the army. Your plan lasts until you step off, and then you have actions on for when something occurs that doesn't go to plan. But these people own their plan. That's a sign of immaturity, inability to think on your feet, a lack of decisive ability, which means you will get defeated at the first problem that is presented to you that puts a dilemma on your thought process that you get stuck into. I have to do it this way. You will fail. You will. You're a one-shot pony at that. Yeah. And you've got to do those, team. You've got to do those dilemmas to find out more about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because, hard decision making, you need it in life in general, but especially if you're carrying responsibility.
And this is one that's going to come out in the next couple of days for you blokes, if not tomorrow. But I'm with my daughter again tomorrow, school holidays, you know how it is.
Yep.
Bam. I'm not going to tell you any more on this one, but this one's coming out to you in the next day or so. Do we take it? Would you? That's all I'm going to say on this subject.
Oh, that looks good.
It is good. Guys and gals, please do not think that when I'm not online that I'm inactive, that I'm not thinking about your comments, that I'm not answering calls, that I'm not returning comments through text, that I'm not preparing thumbnails, that I'm not preparing videos.
I want people to know that you've actually given pretty much your full-time life to producing content for us and creating and facilitating this community. And
I'm still sliding back into being a virgin so fast. Well, this all comes down to what defines you. What defines me is what I do for other people now. I had my military career. I'm still here trying to help you, sure. We're going to move on to other things. But we have got to give you the answers you need to make you the best version of you. And if you face some of those critical thought processes here, and that makes you go, yeah, okay, I get that. I actually agree with that. Or that makes you go, you're dead right. How do we know there's not an officer right now who's watching this going, you know what? You're spot on. Tomorrow, Jerry Maguire, I'm going to write the memo. I'm going to wrap it in blue, and I'm going to send it off and say, this is what we're doing wrong, and we need to change this culture.
That's what we need, exactly. We need someone with a strength of character to actually say, this is ridiculous.
Simon says how to ask a question in the ADF: pose, pause, then pounce.
Night, Mr. Patterson.
Ivan's out of here too. Night, Lauren.
Yeah. Yep. Night, Ivan.
Okay. Did we get anyone actually added any questions about that leadership discussion we had?
Oh, I wasn't really watching. I was interested in what you were saying. I think everyone was listening.
It's a tough one because we have to hand out sometimes advice to someone. There's nothing worse than being a commander than telling a soldier that you have admiration for, that you care for, that is a friend outside of work as well, that has been one of your subordinates. Mate, you are very, very close to walking the plank, you know? And we get, one thing you get in the military too, team, is you'll get reported on every single month. Every single month, your platoon commander, troop commander, squadron commander, etc. will write a report on you. So by the end of the year, if it is not in a report and it is something bad, it should not be showing up on your final report. You get a 6-month report and an annual report. So you get a chance to change the ways that you do wrong. And believe me, you can get sacked, team. We don't have dishonourable discharge like we used to, and we should bring it back. We should bring it back. And what there should also be is their ability that you have to sign back on every 4 years. You know, or maybe every 2 years after your first 4 years, which should be 6 years. Okay, the reason why I say that is we should have the ability too to go, no, your job's over even though you want to stay because you never go outfield. You always seem to have a medical restriction. Your capability, your morale sapping, attitude is not what we need here. Yeah, it goes both ways. Because if Retro's in the military or Joel Hurdle, they don't want to have someone who has been in longer than them who is just painting a negative picture continually, toxic. So you deserve to have good people to your left and right. You do.
Because morale is really important.
So important.
People think it's just for a bit of fun or something. No, it can make the biggest difference.
What's Fugly doing? I'm legit standing here, staring at them both. I don't know what to do.
He doesn't know whether to make plum ribs or pork chops for dinner. He's got a dilemma himself. It's
too late at night, man. It's nearly 9 o'clock. If you have that sort of food this time of night, you'll have that filthy taste in your mouth for the rest of the night.
But you remember what it's like to have a little bubby. You eat when you can, you sleep when you can.
Yeah. Well, I haven't eaten tonight because I had to get ready for this stream and I left it a bit late talking to some good people.
I wasn't even going to be here tonight, but then I thought, you know what? I am, because you guys I always have a good time.
It's only 6 where Fugly is. Look, if you don't turn up to the stream, if you don't make the stream, it feels like your routine's off.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is that, why don't I just come along? It'll be fun. It always is.
Hey, Iron Wolf's dad just said, Kaz, great news. Just passed my U session. Just got my medical left. That's fantastic. You know what? Aptitude tests scare the shit out of me. I don't like the truth either. David Penson. Okay, what about time in rank? There are so many people in a holding pattern. Look, there is. You're only meant to be in A rank for around 4 to 6 years, right? You're supposed to have done your subject 2 within 18 months to 12 months to 18 months of doing your junior leadership training course, right? Or otherwise it can be disqualified. One of the hard things is we get people that get promoted that don't want to get promoted, that just want to have big arms, chase girls, go to the gym, eat food, be fit, and have a lifestyle. But once you're in the pattern of promotion, you don't get a choice anymore. You're going to get ripped out of where you are and sent eventually to Kapuka, School of Infantry, School of Transport, Puckapunyal, Steel Barracks, Sydney. That's going to happen. So hold off rank for a while. It's not how much you get paid, team. It's what you do with your money that determines whether you're going to have things when you're older. And if you have a good missus, have as few as you can in your life, and there's more of a chance you're going to get one that lasts forever. The older you get, you better make sure you get it right the second or third time. You can have everything. 2 people working, you can afford everything.
Yeah, as long as you don't have extravagant needs or want to try and keep up with the Joneses.
Or want to live in Sydney.
Yeah, just live a simple life. You don't really need much to be happy, because if you're not happy to begin with, No.
Now,